What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/ChoosingBeggars. Alright, this story's called, "We for sure have kids, we just can't recall their names, ages, or genders." It's that time of year again. The holidays can bring out the best of us, and it could bring out the worst in choosing beggars. On to the story. I run a small local children's charity that gives holiday gifts to underprivileged children. The process is a parent or guardian fills out an application and then sends it to us. Within the app are questions about the child's interests and wish lists. We have in big bold letters on the very top of the page saying, "We do not give out bikes or electronics," though a lot of people still put a bike and a list of multiple electronics as their kids' interests. In some cases, only those things. When a family of 7 applies and every kid wants a bike, Xbox, PlayStation, and DS, and nothing else, we can't take them. Like I said, we are a very small charity. We are family run and nearly entirely self-funded. We cannot afford to give out electronics or bikes. On the rarest of occasions, we get a donation or find some crazy deal and give those out, but it's very rare. We also try to only do families once, but some families we take year after year. We've unfortunately been scammed before, but this one takes the cake. This family was a little different because they didn't apply to us directly. A large local organization we had worked with recommended us to them, and them to us. We had worked so closely with the woman at this other group, we wanted to help her out and take this family she so highly recommended. We sent them the application, asking them to fill it in and send it back. Time went on and they never filled it out. We called to remind them and nothing. Eventually we just called to say we don't need the rest of it, just the kids' info. Names, ages, genders, clothes and shoe size, and interests. They sent one of those things. We got the kids' wish list. Xbox, PlayStation, Wii. This was a few years ago, so it was still popular. Nintendo DS, tablet, laptops, iPhones, games, and accessories for all 3 kids had all of those things. We kept calling to get the kids' names, ages, sizes, and other interests. After many calls, we got ages and some sizes. I called red flags from the start. These people couldn't tell us their kids' names. They took so long figuring out their ages even. Had they applied directly to us, it would have been an easy no. But because it comes from such a reputable, trustworthy woman and group, we thought maybe there was another issue. Of course, we didn't get them any electronics. We couldn't even if we wanted to. We got them clothes, age-appropriate toys, shoes, winter coats, school supplies, crafts, board games, books, boxes of gifts. Everything was wrapped and decorated. We signed the names on the gifts and say, "From Santa." We always laugh about how this Santa is Jewish, but because this family was never able to get their kids' names to us, we could only write age, gender, so it was to 8-year-old boy from Santa. It was weird, but we promised the women who recommended them we were accepting this family. We dropped off about 2 weeks before Christmas. More often than not, we never see the kids when we drop off because the families want to say Santa brought everything. So when we didn't see any kids, we thought nothing of it. We deliver and pick up almost non-stop the 2 weeks before Christmas, so we are crazy busy. We get calls all the time to arrange pickup and drop off. We were called by them and they left a message about the drop-off date. Didn't think about it at first, but we looked at the family and saw they had already been delivered. They call again. We answer. And this is the following. What? And this is the following? Yeah, I'd assume. I wasn't the one on the phone, but we talked about it right after and it still sticks in my head. "When are you coming with the rest?" I'm a little confused. I believe we already dropped off your gifts. "We mean the rest." The rest of what? We brought everything when we dropped off. Again. Boxes of gifts. "No, none of that was what we asked for. When are you gonna bring the Xbox, PlayStation, laptop, phones, etc.? What we brought was everything. We're not able to give out electronics, and we do not have anything more to offer you at this time. What the hell are we supposed to do with this crap?" Abruptly hangs up. Now, after the call, we realized they called days before Christmas. That means they had opened all the gifts we brought already. The nice new clothes and toys and everything else were great gifts, but had less pawn value. we were disgusted. The number of kids who could have had a nice Christmas and didn't because those people chose to scam us was sick. They make you want to give up. You put in so much work, so much time, so much money into doing this, and these scammers make it feel like it's not worth it. The people we actually help do make it worth it, but people like this just ruin things. I wanted to go back and demand the stuff back. They wouldn't have given it back, and it would have been very dangerous to try. It wasn't realistic to demand the stuff back, but I still wanted to. Though, I admit it's not worth getting stabbed over. We did call the organization that recommended them and told them what happened, and that we were sure they didn't have kids. Unlike us, this other group is a large government organization. They were giving this family rent money, food for 5 people, appliances, and lots of other big items. They were giving them stuff for 2 parents and 3 kids, not realizing it was only 2 adults with no kids. We don't know what else happened after that, but we do know the other group dropped them completely because they decided to yell at us for not giving them thousands of dollars of electronics and complained that their gifts weren't good enough. They lost the people that paid their rent, their heat, gave them their food, and replaced their appliances when something happened, among other things. Happy holidays, everyone! Yo, that is ridiculous! How can anyone do something like that? Not give someone a freaking PlayStation, Xbox, Wii, laptop, tablet, or iPhone? Jerks! I'm kidding. I hate that this sort of thing is actually really common. A lot of you people are gonna be thinking, yeah, it's some freaking people on welfare. Which I guess is true. People do scam for welfare and stuff, I'm sure. But that's not the issue at hand. It's people literally paying out of pocket to give kids a nice Christmas, and people just ruin it for other people. But as long as there are generous people, there are those that test them, which it sucks, but I think it serves a nice purpose. Because if you want to be generous, you gotta do it knowing that you could be getting scammed, but it's okay because, hey, in the end, someone is getting helped. Obviously through disgusting and dishonest means, but you're still helping someone. You gotta realize that. Alright, this story's called German Lady is Not a r/hydro homie. What? Long setup, so skip to the clearly labeled choosing beggar part if you like. I'm not gonna because I don't know what a hydro homie is. I work at a small brewery. It doesn't have a tap room, but until Brovid, the public were welcome to come inside and, for a small fee, try a few samples. Staff are not bartenders, and we all have other work to do during the customer's visit. For ages, we've had this regular customer who would show up, lean against the counter directly in the way of other customers and staff trying to work, and talk the ear off of anyone she could pin down for longer than a few seconds. She never has anything positive to say, and we have all learned that when she is present, you don't stop moving. If you stand still for a second, she will verbally pin you down, and it is a struggle to exit her unbearable conversation. Customer gets quotes because she tries to avoid ever actually paying for her samples and gets mad when staff insist on charging her for the beer she is drinking. The woman is locally famous among the craft brewing community in my city. Nobody cares to ask her name, so she is commonly called German Lady. Her accent sounds German, but everybody knows better than to ask her questions about her life, so the name is just a guess. Brovid has changed the way we do business. There's no more sampling, and we do off sales via window service only, without the option of entering our space or scamming free samples. We haven't seen much of her. It's been a delight. One day she arrived right at close as I was sliding the garage door shut. My stomach dropped. I greeted her and let her know it was closing time, so she had to hurry up and tell me what she wants. Nope, she hadn't come to get anything. She had arrived just to complain at me for how another brewery down the road, one that does have a tap room, is collecting people's names and contact info before allowing them inside. You know, for contact tracing because we're in a pandemic.
That's illegal. It's discriminatory. I don't know. You're not going to do that to me, are you?
In the friendliest way possible, I told her that we don't need to contact trace because she's not allowed past the plexiglass. She lingered in frustration a while and then left. Here's the choosing beggar part. We're testing out a small new canning line and the brewer does test runs with water instead of beer. He sometimes has a flat of canned water as a result. Also, we occasionally produce some duds when canning our beer. Cans that are dented, improperly seamed, partially empty, etc. go into the bottom of the fridge without labels. These are for staff and friends to grab and drink or cook with. We rarely recall what's inside and there's no guarantee of their actual quality. That's why they're free. Anyway, I'm at work the other day and German lady shows up. She's angry and demands to speak to the brewer. I tell her he just left, the truth, and although it is obvious that I am alone, she lingers, giving me suspicious looks. I guess she knows that people often lie and hide to avoid her. Once she's convinced that he's not going to come out to face her wrath, she lays it on me. She scolds me because the previous day, my boss had given her an unlabeled beer can and the contents had turned out to be water. I was unsympathetic and informed her that the unlabeled cans he gives away for free are free precisely because they are flawed and there's no guarantee of their contents. She wanted to press me for a replacement or an apology or something. It was not gonna happen. She rolled her eyes and marched off in a huff. I figured one of the water cans had become mixed in with the flawed beer cans. Big deal. Later, my colleague who had worked the day prior visited. I shared the story of German lady's visit. He laughed and told me that when our boss had handed her the can, he said, "Here, want some water?" It hadn't even been a mistake. He had handed her a can of water on purpose and had told her it was water. Like most people who never shut up, German lady has never listened to another person in her life. She paid more for the bus fare to come down and complained than she had paid for a free can of water. That definitely does not sound like someone I would want to be a regular at my freaking place. I would put up a sign that says, no German sounding accents. I don't care how discriminatory that is. I just don't want people like that. And I'm sorry, I'm generalizing now. Anyone who has a German accent, no can do, buddy. You're not allowed in my brewery. I can't even say it. Alright, this story's called Make Items for Our Fundraiser How We Want Them or Don't Make Them at All! Hi all, I own a small business in which I handcraft items. I had an organization come to me and ask me if I'd be willing to team up with them for a Christmas fundraiser, as they've had a hard time bringing in extra money this year. The agreement we came to was that I would make one of the best sellers in a fabric exclusive to them and they would get a portion of the sales. I also made sure they knew that I don't and never have done personalization. I do not have an embroidery machine. The iron-on letters often come off in the wash, and the sew-on ones are not cost-effective. Cut to last night. Here's the cast.
Organization?
Me.
We're almost ready for the sale to go live. We just need them to know the size of the letters and the limit of letters per item.
What letters?
The letters to add names to the items?
I'm sorry for the misunderstanding, but we've already discussed this. I have no way of doing personalizations and never have. However, I can suggest an Etsy shop that allows you to personalize a patch in any color or font you want. The patch is about the same cost as an embroidered personalization would run. The customer would need to order the patch themselves so they could personalize it however they wanted and have it sent to me. I would send them a picture when I got it to make sure it's right and add it to their item at no cost.
That's not going to work. We want the items personalized as something special you would do just for us. We've already told people you would be doing so we just need the letter size and limit. Thanks.
I cannot do personalization. It is not a possibility, as I do not have the right equipment and we discussed this prior. I'm sorry, but the answer is no. Also, you've hit me in the middle of my busiest time of the year, and I simply do not have time to take on the extra work of personalizations. I'm still excited to sell the unpersonalized personalized items as I normally sell them to make money for your organization.
We don't want them if you're not willing to personalize them.
Just to clarify, I'm willing to make items for you to earn your organization money with no extra work on your part, but you don't want to do that if I will not personalize them, which is something I can't do.
Yes, so what are you going to do for us? We want these personalized.
There isn't anything I can do. I hope you find someone else who suits your needs.
You can't just leave us high and dry. We need you to personalize these. What if we find someone who can personalize them and you take the items to them and pay them to do them? You can charge enough to cover their costs.
No, thank you. Have a good night. I ended the conversation at that point. That would be a nightmare at tax time. Not to mention, I'm smack dab into my busy season, backed up on orders, and don't have time to run the items to someone. Every time I get an order for an item, I'll make $8 off of. Suddenly, I think I understand why they're having so much trouble doing fundraisers. I would have been more polite, but the attitude of the coordinator was truly astounding. I'm willing to give up some of my profits, and you're choosing how I make items and begging me to do them differently? Man, this subreddit just upsets me. Yeah, that freaking organization is full of jerkbags with jerk idiots. That's right, I said it. No holds barred. Alright, this story is called $5 Minimum. I live in New York City and hopped on the L train 2 nights ago. What was that? The loser train? This young kid, maybe 14 years old, walks over to me immediately holding a paper and tells me, "I'm collecting money to buy jerseys for my basketball team." I give him $1 and look back at my phone. The kid goes, $5 minimum. I thought I misheard him, so I take my headphones out and he again goes, $5 minimum. So I explained to him that this is a donation. He's not offering anything and he should just take the dollar. He goes, "You have mad cash in your wallet, you just cheap." I told him he's being ridiculous and he should be happy he got anything. This little kid goes, "You're just being disrespectful." Then pulls out mace and goes, "Run your pockets." I laughed at him and he got more pissed. He kept telling me he was gonna mace me at the next stop. Some random guy across the train, totally unaware, called him over and handed him money, and the kid jumped off the train. I have lived in Brooklyn, New York my entire life. I have seen some crap. I have never in my life seen this level of entitlement. This sub is the first thing I thought of and wanted to share. That is actually freaking bonkers. Pretty sure I've ridden the L train. I didn't really see anything too nuts on the subway, but I did see this, actually I saw this subway performer guy. He was like, "Oh my god, I'm not gonna tell that story. I'm an idiot in that story." But, there was this cool dude singing opera in the station. That was sick. He was really, really good.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.